And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we have the national anthem played.
All right, the anthem and the ceremonial puck drop out of the way. We're ready for hockey here between the Ice Dogs and Mustangs at the O'Brien Icehouse. This is the first game of a doubleheader for the Mustangs. They'll play the Ice Dogs, excuse me. They'll play the Melbourne Ice tomorrow afternoon. So this is exactly why I don't have coffee before I call a game, because I get everything messed up. I just remembered that there was actually the Ice Dogs lost 5-3 to the Thunder last week on the Sunday. I don't know.
You know what, I reckon it's like, oh, look there, a new one. Eh?
Oh, that's
tweets on screen.
Yeah,
Let's hope someone does that.
I'm in 2 places at one time, but...
you know what I'm thinking here? I'm thinking you're confused with baseball, because that was 3 strikes and you're out almost.
Well, if that was the case, I would have been out of a job about 4 or 5 years ago, at least. But we're ready for action here. Your officials for this evening's game: Jeff Scott wearing the bands, Casper Russell Huber and Craig Armstrong Frey are your linesmen. Starting in goal, Garrett Bartas gets the start. As we talked about at the start of the program, the Ice Dogs, with a dearth of imports that can all play at the same time. I was talking to Andrew Petrie during the week, selecting those 4 out of those 6 is always going to be hard because you also have an import goaltender in the mix.
Absolutely, and the Mustangs struggled with that concept last year, and we never quite did that, but we had 5, and it was an enchanting experience, you know?
So we're underway here at the Icehouse as the Dogs go on the offensive here through Manco, the captain. Coming to the rescue there was Lachlan Farmy, who's just come across from the Sydney Bears in a conversation he had with Coach Petrie last weekend. So that was an interesting move as well. Plenty of domestic moves this season with Jonathan Bremner for the Ice as well. But they score! Ice Dogs on the board, 31 seconds into the game. And just like that, it's 1-0.
Wow. Did it get redirected? It looked like it got redirected upstairs on that.
We'll have a look on the replay, but it was a rather innocuous shot. And that just caught Jaden Pine-Murphy just by surprise. Let's have a look at the replay. There's I don't think that was redirected at all.
Well, it looked like it went upstairs. Probably see that again.
So if we could just slow that one down, but it looked like Crowder was claiming it initially. It was his initial shot, that being Crowder of the Tim variety. But Manco's claiming the tip, so it must have been tipped indeed. And it's a 1-0 game here. The Ice Dogs captain gets the visitors on the board less than a minute into this game. And we got our first penalty. And it's a holding call. And there you can see it's silent here at the Icehouse. And it's looks like Troy Robertson is going to the bench, penalty bench, I should say. And he gets called for holding. So it goes from bad to worse here for the Ice Dogs, as for the Mustangs. Oh, man. Let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, boarding was the call. He gave the holding signal. All right. Well, plenty of talking points from last night's Melbourne Derby, particularly in the way of penalties, Rod.
Well, for sure. And I think you and I talked about a couple of them before the game. So there was a charging call at center ice, and I didn't think it was a charging call because I didn't think that there was actually an intended movement towards the player.
No,
so
no.
And the other hit in the corner, that could have been a
5 game,
absolutely.
potentially, yeah. So it's never a Melbourne Derby if there's not a ton of controversy.
Yeah.
That and Mr. Burke and Mr. Webster's duel as well throughout the game. Jamie Burke trying to break Liam's stick again, but unsuccessfully. But anyway, we've got an Ice Dogs power play right now as Bartas goes to fish this one out, a long way out of his net.
Wow.
Hesitated a little, but managed to get it under control. And Dunwoody gets control here for the Ice Dogs, and they'll have to build right from the back. They started out now down the line there with Crowder, one half of the Crowder brothers, who had an absolute blinder against Adelaide last week. This one slapped the length of the ice. And
how many goals did they get? One of them had a hat trick.
Tim had a hat trick, yeah. Yep. And well, just a pleasure to watch if you watch the Fox Sports Game of the Week. Here's Paul Crowder now, down through centre. Over the line, just draws a couple of players towards him. That being McMahon, who had quite the game last night for the Mustangs. Scored the opening goal and 2 assists to his name. Back now here to Bartis. Pursued there by Parker Thomas, who by his own right, despite being right in the action, had plenty of the puck and quite a first good game for the Mustangs. As here comes Crowder now to the outside. Checked there by McMahon. And the Mustangs doing a pretty good job. But the linesman isn't, as Craig Armstrong-Frey takes a tumble hit back the other way. Bright with a shot, and Bartis, his first real save of the game.
I actually thought that Isaacson and Parker Thomas and Vadum played pretty well last night. Vadum came out flying, and I think if the 3 of them can get it together, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
So Vadum had a really good tournament for the Mighty Roos too. I mean, he obviously had been there before with Estonia back in the day, but now we're in green and gold colours. He actually had quite the tournament. There's Jones now. Out to Jackson Lane. Was cut off at the blue line there by McGregor, but eventually sent the length of the ice. And Bartis will come out of his net and settle it down now here for the lone goal scorer of tonight's game so far, Thomas Manco, the captain of the Sydney Ice Dogs. Shoots it out down to Alice Carini. Nice moves from him. Just delays at the half wall. 12:24 to go and just 8 seconds remaining on the power play. Salado slings one around the net. It's cut off. And the Mustangs managed to kill off that penalty. Is it 2 and 10, I should mention? Birchall is serving the 2-minute portion.
I think it is, actually.
Yeah. So Jones, and that's going to be offside, and we'll have a whistle.
So what do you know about the Crowders? I had a little bit of a look at them. They're in their early 30s, but from all accounts, they seem to know how to put the puck away.
Well, they both played in the AIHL. Tim for Coventry last year, and Paul played for Fife. They actually haven't played a lot together as a, they're not like the Sedines, where it's interesting because they're from Victoria, BC, which is, anyway, how close you want to put that to the Sedines of Vancouver. But anyway, since they've come here to play for the Ice Dogs, I mean, the chemistry last week, particularly also with Grant Tillman on that top line, who is sitting tonight. He's the sitting import, or one of the 2, Strat Allen being the other one. As this one moved out now by the Mustangs, here's Thomas now. Thomas over the line with Isaacson and Vyasov. Just gains almost the high slot, goes out to the top of the circle. Not much on offer, but just corrals the blue line, keeps it onside. Maybe held onto it a little too long as Crowder flips it out to centre. Glove down by Bellick. That's a hand pass, and we'll have a face-off.
It's interesting that they sit Toulman because he certainly has played well, and I know last year when we watched him, he was very impressive. Well,
as we were talking about last week, I mean, this is his 4th season with the Ice Dogs for Grant Tillman. But the size on that top line, the 2 Crowders, both 6'2", 6'3", and Grant Tillman 6'3", 6'4". That's a lot for an opposing defence to deal with, particularly teams with the smaller defensive pairings. It'll be interesting to see how they shape up against, sides like the Perth Thunder and the Brave, etc. So 11:15 to go. 1-0 the score to the Sydney Ice Dogs. Opening goal 31 seconds into Thomas Manco. As they come down the near side, here's Pataki. Little chip and chase there with Alex Stevenson. Digging at the puck there. McMahon did well. Forced it out now here to Matt Anderson. And he starts it out of the zone here for the Mustangs. Apps to the outside. Just well held there by Pataki just to force him wide. And in comes Damien Bright from the point. Got a incidental stick in the back of the helmet. Play continues. The puck sent back out to the line. Well held there by McMahon. Slots on net, and Bartis had the blocker out. Didn't get through to him in the end. As Apps just shoves his man Pataki to the ice, and McGregor comes away with it now. McGregor just chips that one on net, and pretty comfortable save from Pine Murphy. As we should mention, the last 5 minutes of the game with the puck jammed in his mask. So it's interesting because they banned the cat-eye masks about 10 years ago, and then they reinstated them. And so you can see why they banned them. But
it's interesting because in Canada, like the CSA would be checking that stuff to make sure that there's no way a puck can get in on that thing. So that was very interesting when that happened.
Almost forced to use Michael Breedfeld's helmets. It was just a little too small. But here come the Ice Dogs now out of their own zone. Well, not with passes like that. As Farmy digs at the puck. Back now to Carini, slings it out across. Long range drive there on the net of Pine Murphy by Dunwoody is pretty comfortably steered aside. As Matt Monahan, who, as we talked about earlier, has made his return to the Ice Dogs since 2014, at the age of 35. Is Burke now. Burke get pretty well harassed there by Dunwoody, forced him to get rid of the puck, delays the check. Parker Thomas takes over at centre now. Nice move to get around two dogs. He shoots, and well, that goes into the netting. Took a deflection as Berkey and Dunwoody have a little bit of a chat on the way to the bench.
It's always enchanting with him.
Good to see Anders back.
Anders! G'day, good morning from Malmo, Sweden. Great to see you guys again. And likewise, Anders, good to hear from you.
So winding up the Malmo Redhawks season and into the Mustangs season.
Now the trouble is I'm going to have to practice my reading ability again. Remember what game were we doing where they kept throwing odd words at us?
Pretty much every game. Anyway, here's Isaacson now. Isaacson starts out through centre, offside as Vyasov. And it wasn't Parker Thomas.
And I was going to say, we talked a little bit. Here's another one. Andrew McDougall. Is that a playoff beard from Rod? Well, it was from last year, and it's still here this year, Andrew.
I was going to say, I didn't pick you to be a Bruins, Carolina, San Jose, or St. Louis fan. That's a playoff beard.
You should have seen it before. It looked like a sea captain.
Yeah, I remember seeing during Summer League, and I'm going, is that Rod Johns behind the bench? Surely not. But I've got to say, it's quite a step above mine anyway. As Quayle starts out through centre, just gets the stick lift and had to dump this one in. McMahon takes over now here for the Mustangs. They try to clear their zone out through centre. Isaacson just forced to hack at the puck and give it right back now here to Quayle. And over to Farmy. Slings one across, and that's behind Crowder. So this is going to be icing as McMahon is in front of his player at the hash marks. And we'll get a offensive zone face-off for the Mustangs.
So I was going to say, if you remember back about 4 years ago, and the Ice Dogs were really struggling, and they only had Strat Allen. And with Strat Allen, they actually had some hope.
Yeah.
Now they've got these other 5 guys and Strat Allen, so that's a very positive move.
The 2015 season where they only had one shootout win, and that was the season to forget. But yeah, what a turnaround in terms of the recruiting stakes. And some great young players too. I mean, Ellis Carini is perhaps my favourite.
Yeah, he's very good to watch, isn't he? He's got wheels and he's got a brain. And
James Marino as well, as among others, I should say. Here's Anderson now, gains the line, just gets checked in front of the bench there by Pataki. Quayle lost track of that puck and finally got hold of it and shoots it out now here to Crowder. Crowder now drops it off for his brother, this being Paul. He gets knocked to the ice, held in by McGregor at the line. Floats one on net, and it's steered aside pretty comfortably there by Pine Murphy. Danger not over, though, as Manco chips it in behind the net. Crowder of the Paul variety. Just out to the half wall, and that's floated up, and McGregor will glove it down at centre. And the Ice Dogs will get fresh personnel on the ice. Smooth change from them. Here's McGregor. Almost had his pocket picked by Jones, but up now here to Monahan. Monahan over the blue line, looking for someone in the slot. He's got Dunwoody. Pass was just behind him. And the Mustangs might swoop on the counter-attack here, and they do so through Burke at centre and McDowell with Jones trailing them. Back to Burke now. Shot! Tipped by McGregor into the netting, and we'll get a whistle.
So the Ice Dogs turnaround, do you think that's got anything to do with Mr. Petrie?
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts there, my friend?
Absolutely. Well, we talked to Fridge during the week on the AIHL podcast, and it's an interesting quote he made. He approaches recruiting like he approaches recruiting for his business. So, he's also looking for good hockey citizens, not just guys who are good players, which is, approach a lot of teams are using now. You hired guns, but you've got guys that have stuck around for years. And I think that the Dogs have been and Newcastle, I would say, probably the two tips of the spear in that regard. And as that shot is saved there by Bartas. But the Crowders really are something special. As Dylan Quayle, I saw Dylan play for the Rapid City Rush in November, and here he is with the puck. His shot just wide. And into the corner it goes as Monahan gets most of his man and tries to get his stick out from under his man. That being, I think, Sean Jones. Yep, and he has a bit to say to the referee. But anyway, Farmy's going to get back to the puck as that was tipped, no icing. With Burke in pursuit. Burke did well to steal the puck from him. Burke looking for some support in Isaacson. A shot. Good save, Bartas. Something out of nothing there on the forecheck from Jamie Burke. Danger not over, though, as Bellick cannoned one on net. And that's held in by Vyasov just at the blue line, pursued by Stevenson. Vyasov around Dunwoody as well. Vyasov still got the puck. Can't shake Dunwoody, though. McMahon arriving at the point, but we got a penalty as Dunwoody's stick was high. McMahon's shot saved by Bartis. The Ice Dogs trying to touch it. They've got 6 skaters on now, and the 6th one being Max Parent. And Ice Dogs still haven't touched the puck. McMahon now, 6:20 to go. As Max takes this one in the skates, drives to the outside. He shoots, and an easy save there for Bartis. The rebound shot is saved as well, and finally the Dogs get control. And kneeing is the call, not tripping. That's an interesting call. And it'll be a power play to the Mustangs.
Now, are you sure about this? Have you got the sign right?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I was not just Auslan. I mean, referee Auslan, I'm somewhat proficient. Referee, you need to be fluent in Auslan and Braille, man. So,
and you are, aren't you?
yeah. Some of the calls I've made over the years. As this one out now at Humphreys. Jones now. So the call is kneeing. Humphreys. Back now here to Parent at this point. Just couldn't hold that into the half wall, and he had his pocket picked there by Crowder. To Jones. Down low. Looking in front. Oh, Jones just couldn't get that one from Parent. As this one chipped out now, and Crowder's going to try and skate onto it and beat Parent. Good stick lift from him. His brother joins him for some assistance. But the Mustangs regain control, and they start out through center. 1:24 left on the man advantage here for the men in orange and black. Burke wheels around, just keeps it onside. McMahon with a one-timer and a good stave there from Bartis, who had Humphreys right in front of him with the screen. Humphreys now. Garrett Bartis stopping most of what's thrown on him so far. As this one now moved into the corner. McMahon back to Burke. 53 seconds remaining on the power play here for the Mustangs. Humphreys driving towards the net, and well, a little slash after the whistle there from Pataki. The referee didn't think there was anything in it. We'll have a whistle.
So I think that's probably the best power play that they've had so far. It's pretty good, and that's set up by Burke to McMahon. Simone Woodvine looking for a win from the Ice Dogs. Well, Simone, I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that are looking for that. Unfortunately, there's some Mustangs that are looking for a win too, and we can't share it.
No. And with the new overtime this year, 3-on-3, the chances of that diminish greatly, even though that's impossible in the first place. So 4:59, you can share it, but it's 2 points and 1 point, so it's not fair anyway. Here's McMahon. His shot is wide. As Quayle tried to backhand that one out of the zone. Carini prods at it. Just gains the line. Good job from him. Forces it out. 38 seconds left on the power play here for the Mustangs. Ice Dogs holding firm so far on the penalty kill. Here's Vyasov now through center. Vyasov draws 3 players to him. Just pulls up at the half wall and waits for options to take their place. Here's McMahon. Shot is tipped and it's in! That was off the stick of Quayle, an own goal of sorts. It matters not, though. McMahon gets the goal.
But the good thing off that is he didn't waste any time, and he let a shot go. There wasn't really a lot on it, okay? And it got redirected at the last second, I think, and right between his legs.
Yep.
So I don't know how many times you try to tell people, get the shot off, keep it low, make the goalie work for it, right? And it paid off there.
So if I have a look. Yeah, that was Dylan Quayle's tip. Had he been wearing Mustangs colours, he would have said great tip. But Michael McMahon, that's his 3rd goal of the season. He had one last night. The 2 captains are the only 2 goal scorers so far in this game, Manco and McMahon. M&M, for want of a better term, and it's 1-1. This one now sent out by Pataki. Here's Dunwoody losing an edge there was Erzin at the blue line, but Bellick's going to bail him out with Monahan right on his hammer. Monahan, some good forechecking from him. It comes into the corner and out now here to Dunwoody. Gets pushed into the glass there by Erzin. There's Carini. Has the puck in his skates. Dunwoody sends a blind one out in front of the high slot. Monahan did well to gather that one in. The too many Mustangs players there, and they'll come out here on the counter-attack. Here's Jones over the blue line. Backhands this one across. Unable to take it cleanly there was McDowell. Did well in the end to get something near the net. He's going to get it back and turns it straight over, though. 3:39 remaining here in the first. It's a 1-1 game. As the puck now shot out of the zone. And the Ice Dogs get a change of personnel. Up now here to Burke. Fanned on the dump in. Humphries is just onside. Quayle pushes this one out to centre. As Crowder of the Paul variety can't control that one. Bartis can. And the Ice Dogs just looking a little out of sorts there in the neutral zone. Only by temporary. Good hit from Farmy there on Humphries, who had his head down. Lane comes out with a puck now here for the Mustangs. Apps over the line. Apps with Stringer. Apps did well to keep the play alive, but it's pushed out now here by the Dogs and on to the stick of Crowder. DeGross to Manco looking for his second. He shoots, kicked out there by Pine Murphy. Quayle did well to pinch in and keep that play alive. And it just bounces over his stick in the end. Crowder has it now. That being Paul. Out now here to Quayle. Quayle now with Tim Crowder. Glove that one down. Hand pass washed out as the Mustangs player touched it. Humphries played that one with a high stick, washed out in turn as the Ice Dogs player touched it now. This one sent across now here to Crowder. Just gains the line, has to get around Jackson Lane. Can't do so, and it's shot back out in the Ice Dogs zone as Pataki will retreat. And the Ice Dogs and the Mustangs will both change lines as Quayle had to be quick as Isaacson was looking for a steal. With Monahan now. Monahan, oh, he was off to the races. Had he got a clean touch of that puck. Comes back the other way now here for Vyasov. To Isaacson, drops it off. Here's a trailer in. Thomas with a shot. Bartis with a save. And to the rescue there is Monahan on the back check. And a good opportunity there for the Mustangs and a better save from the Dogs' goaltender.
Well, that was a very good setup, and Parker Thomas was in exactly the right spot, and he had all kinds of time to take the shot, and it was a very, very good save by Bartis.
You can see there. Made the stop, just trickled past and got on top of it. 157, 1-1 the score. And two other games being played in the AIHL this afternoon. Adelaide doing battle with the North Stars, and Thunder and CBR Brave doing battle. But right now, Monahan now grabs the puck in. Backhander is a comfortable save by Pine Murphy. It's 1:38 to go. He's a long-range pass. Thomas lost his edge, still has the puck though. Backhands this one across as Vyasov was lurking there in the low slot. Thomas gets it right back and can't get it to Vyasov a second time either. Vyasov finally gets it off the kick plate, but he's going to lose possession. Only to his teammate though as Isaacson blows a tyre. Here's Vyasov now. Vyasov back to Isaacson and prodding it at it. And Bartis, who couldn't really cover, and the ice has, no, the net's off. So we'll have a whistle.
That happened quite a few times last night. And
at least 7 or 8, yeah.
It became very annoying. Mr. Armstrong was really annoyed. Timo. Notes for Stephen White. Ice Dogs in white, Mustangs in black, and Selinsky Morgan. I don't think you made a mistake like that.
No, I think Timo's drunk. Maybe I'm drunk. I don't know. No.
If Timo's in Finland, he might have had a few. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't know. I think he's just missing Jeff. But you might want to ask Jeff how we got to the game yesterday. He was still in Oakley, apparently. Here's Crowder. Manco. Back now here to Quayle. Well, all he's done is caused a divide between our two directors, Selinsky and Morgan. One being in Perth, one being in Melbourne this weekend. So I'll just sit on the fence on that one. Here's Burke now. He's going to potentially beat out this icing call. He does so. Burke back to the point. Fires it across, and that went through the crease and wide. There's 33 seconds remain. Just forced to kick at the puck there is... Well, no, that was just sent out of the zone eventually, but come back to Crowder, and he fires it, turns it around, gives it to his brother. With Quayle. Quayle now shoots into the crest on the jersey there of Pine Murphy.
That was a pretty quick release there.
Yeah, that went right into the shot of Pine Murphy. As we talked about, he had several good saves last night against the Melbourne Ice.
Yep, he did for sure. But I mean, the one that he got scored on by Liam Webster, you can't let Webster walk in like that. And I think that was probably the best shot of the game.
Oh yeah, bar down and in.
Far out.
Nothing a goalkeeper can really do about that.
No. But you're right. He played a very good game, I thought, and like he's played 4 pretty good games. So he must be very happy with himself, and certainly the Mustangs are happy with him.
Essentially shutting out the Perth Thunder twice, essentially, apart from the shootout goal from Rob Hazelhurst. over in Perth. As time is going to expire here in this first period between the Ice Dogs and the Mustangs, and it will finish 1 goal apiece between Melbourne and Sydney. The goal scorers, Michael McMahon for the Mustangs and Thomas Manco for the Ice Dogs. Rod, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are is just what I said at the start of the game. It's 1-1, and we knew it was going to be an interesting game. And I suppose the real interesting thing is the first shot of the game goes in, and then nothing much happens through the period. They seem to sort of go head-to-head, and it's 1-1, so if you're the coaches, you're probably happy.
Yep, I'd have to agree with that assessment. And to assess more of the play after the intermission, we'll be right back. It's the Ice Dogs 1, the Melbourne Mustangs 1, here for the O'Brien Icehouse. 1 game into the Mustangs season and already tongue-tied. But we'll be back with more action right after this. And welcome back to the O'Brien Icehouse here. It's where it's 1-1 between the Mustangs and the Ice Dogs. Thomas Manco and Michael McMahon, the lone goal scorers in this one. First game of a two-game doubleheader for the Ice Dogs this weekend as they take on the Mustangs and the Melbourne Ice this weekend. Shots in the first period, 5-9 in favour of the Mustangs. And it actually looks like that goal was awarded. Looks like Parker Thomas was awarded the goal, not Michael McMahon. So it must have been a tip at the end. Just getting clarification on that from the scorers as Vyasov runs into a wall there. Well, McMahon celebrated if it was his. So I'm sure they'll scrap over it after. He scored the first goal of the game last night. It's 14:23 remaining. Good hit there from Thomas, throwing the shoulder. So Crowder tends to respond. That being Paul, as Tim was the one being hit. As Vyasov now. Vyasov top of the circle. As well, couldn't find his way through traffic. Is picked up now here by Vyasov. Again, the Mustangs just can't find a way through the Ice Dogs. They put three players there in that slot. Crowder had his pocket picked at centre there by Troy Robertson, who's finished serving the 10-minute misconduct he got as part of the checking to the head penalty. And they score! Well, initially, everyone was standing around. I thought I heard a whistle to blow the play dead. And then it was in. There's a bit of confusion here because the Mustangs.
Oh, I didn't know either, and it looked like everyone was
Mustangs
just waiting to see what happened. Maybe it went through his legs in the shuffle.
Because the Mustangs all just sort of stopped.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Here's Quayle. Feeds this one in now. Carini drives to the net.
Right through his
right
legs.
there. Yeah, there we go.
Two guys standing on the doorstep. Someone's going to pick him up.
So Tim Crowder gets the goal. Alice Carini will get the assist. And it's 2-1 in favour of the visitors. And back the other way comes Burke now. Burke, his shot from a wide angle, comfortable save for Garrett Bartis.
It's interesting that I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but both those goals were scored against the Mustangs import line with Fathom.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing.
And both Ice Dogs goals coming within 30 seconds of the start of the period. So score early seems to be the theme so far. Here's McGregor, alternate captain here for the Ice Dogs this season. Picked it up there off the stick of Parent. Here's Jones now. Jones shoots, and he scores!
Oh, yeah.
And just like that, a response from the Mustangs, and we're tied again.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a mistake too, because Sean Jones was allowed to step in and literally walk right up on the goaltender and pick his spot, and that's exactly what he did. Max set him up, but no one picked him up, so you can't do that both ways. No one's on him, see that?
Great shot too, upstairs. Not much Bartis could do about that. Sean Jones' second goal of the season. It's the second goal for the Mustangs tonight, and it's a 2-2 hockey game here. 13:25 remaining in the second. Game may have just opened up a little. It was a bit of an arm wrestle for most of the first period. Monahan did well to steal that puck. 1v2 now. Got Dunwoody going to the net. Decides to shoot it himself. Pine Murphy kicks it out. Monahan. Dunwoody. Carini now digging at the puck. Carini, top of the circle. Got to draw two plays to him. Here's Monahan with a real chance. He slides it across. Whoa. The idea was there, but just took a deflection on the way through. Playmaking there from Matt Monahan, and that's going to be icing, and the Ice Dogs will have a face-off to the left of Jaden Pine Murphy.
You talked a little bit about Monahan in the last period, and I've watched him, like, obviously for this period and part of the last period, and he seems to have a bit of sense about him in that as well. He moves the puck well, and he almost popped one there.
Absolutely. I mean, as we talked about, he came back. Last time we saw him was 2014, and he played 2 games that season. He was a mainstay of the Ice Dogs for many years. And at the age of 35, still got the hands. So he was pivotal in terms of Andrew Petrie talked to him in the off-season, asked him if he was interested in coming back, and he was, and he's been great so far.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with him.
The renaissance as this one's sent in behind the goal line. Crowder just digs at it, has Anderson harassing him for the puck. This spills out now here to Worzen in the corner. His opposite number, Manco, presses him. As Quayle gets pressed into the boards on that check, Erzen will come back with the puck as Paul Crowder did well there to almost steal that off him and caught a turnover. Here's Manco, here's Tim Crowder, and his shot is blocked. Back now here to Paul Crowder, now behind the goal line. Has Lane right on his numbers. Crowder slink that one in front, and we'll get a penalty now. Looks like it's going against the Mustangs. I think that was the trip there. Andrew Erzen's going to sit for 2. Yeah, pretty undisputable call there.
Yeah, I think it was a trip or a cross check? Because he was like trying to push him out of the crease.
Okay, cross check is the call. You're correct. We just have a look at the replay here. Here we are in front of the nets.
Yeah.
And it's just
right
there.
Here,
yeah.
right there.
Yep. It was a bit of skate-to-skate contact, but obviously the cross-check was the motion that put him over. Here's Quayle now. Power play here for the Ice Dogs and a chance to get a 1-goal lead potentially. Here's Paul, Crowder, and this one goes into the corner now for Dunwoody to give chase. Good check on Isaacson. Spills out now here to Monahan. His shot from the point is blocked at the high slide, and Isaacson had the potential to be on a breakaway. Well, he's still got the puck. Here's Isaacson moving in, he shoots! And all the short-handed opportunity there for the Mustangs, nearly. Something out of nothing there from Christian Isaacson. Here's Paul Crowder now. Pulls up, deals it off to the puck. Here's Quayle. Plenty of traffic in front of the net here for the Ice Dogs, and Monahan will have to retreat into the corner and pick it up. Back to the point now here to Dylan Quayle. To Monahan again. With McMahon, shakes McMahon with ease. Still got the puck, has Monahan. Just tried to slide that one across, and a little too much on it. Isaacson opened something up here with Parker Thomas as at least 50%. The Mustangs PK unit changes line. Nice check there from Quayle. Put Thomas right up into the glass. And Dunwoody skates back the other way over the blue line now here for the Ice Dogs. Just a bouncing puck there, couldn't settle it down there, could Crowder. And this one goes back the other way. And they're going to be offside, and we'll have a whistle.
I don't know if you noticed, but the Mustangs were trying to kill that penalty, and they had 1 guy in front of the net and 3 guys in the corner. Jaff's Turtle, I'm at the Oakley rink for the game. Where is everyone?
It's probably the only rink he could reach, given his mode of transport right now. But not saying where you live, Paul, but anyway, here's Carini now. Down the far side. 35 seconds left on the man advantage. Oh, man! As Casper Russell-Huber almost had shades of deja vu there in that very same spot, but he looks to be okay this time. As Carini at now here to Humphreys. Humphreys now. Salato did well to protect the puck and gain control. Back now here to Manco. And Manco will quarterback things from the furthest point on the ice from his own goal. That being the attacking goal. It's slung in now. That looks like it's not going to be icing. Just shot inside the red line. But not going to matter because we're back to 5-on-5 now as Erzen steps back on the ice. Quick shot from Humphreys. Great paddle stave there from Barta. Saw it all the way. And we'll get a whistle.
So 2 things. I just want to go back to the penalty kill, okay? So you're on a penalty kill and you have 1 guy in front of the net and 3 guys in the corner. Not exactly a good thing to have happen here. And that one there. Yeah. I think both of us were here that night when he got hit.
We were. You were indeed. And, and then I was not here for a little while.
Far out.
That was, what, 6-7 years ago now.
Be. And that made the news. Do you remember it made the Channel 9 news?
Yes. Yes, I was only a young man then, apparently. Mate, it was my 15 minutes of fame, and I managed to make it 16. But anyway, here's Andrew Warhol was right. Here's Quayle. Managed to keep it over the blue line. Passes it across. Shot from Monahan on the turnaround was good, but the block there for the Mustangs was better. And Bright has the puck now at the half wall, and he just starts out to centre. Burke almost splits the D. Can't get a quality shot off. Went off the heel of his stick, but he manages to get his own rebound before getting smashed into the glass. Good check applied there from Dunwoody. As they had a conversation earlier. No love lost between those two. As getting stood up there in a stiff check was McDowell. And the physicality going up a couple of notches here at the Icehouse. And a bit of push and shove, just a little bit of feeling. Is Henrik Arlene getting in the mix of things here. But, good game for it, actually, 2-2. There's plenty of no love lost, actually, last night, too. Some good checks and some controversial ones.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. And I think that if you watch the game, one of the things I was going to say to you is Christian Isaacson, like I saw him play the first game, and then they went on the road. Yeah. And then I saw him play last night, and he must have had 4 or 5 solid checks that he put on other people.
Yep.
And I hadn't picked him to be like that, but he sure laid the body on a few guys.
He did indeed. That's going to be icing. And we said he got a misconduct, 9:46 to go. So he was out effectively for the game if it went to overtime, but he's okay to be back in.
Lats, AHL game day. Good to see Rod back. Thanks, mate. Love you too, brother.
Ex-coach of the Mustangs himself, Michael Flaherty. We're going to go... Is he gunning for your job, Rod? Is that why he's laying on the compliments? No, I'm just kidding. As Parker Thomas now has this one to Robertson. Nice cross-ice pass. Had Vyasov lurking at the opposing blue line. He did well there to shake the check of Farmy. Back now here to Vyasov. His shot, and that was blocked up high. The rebound was about 2 meters wide, and Robertson will put it right back into the corner. Thomas chipped out by Manko. Good defensive play from him. Just buys his team some time to get a change, or at least himself to get a change, as Marino steps on the ice now here for the Dogs. Vyasov. There's a one-man high on this forecheck so far here for the Ice Dogs, that being Crowder.
You think he's trying to crowd them? I couldn't resist.
Oh, well, he just put a... Speaking of Crowder, just put a pretty good check there of crowding Perrin into the glass. As Vyasov looking to chip that one up to Isaacson. Perrin will start from his own blue line across the other blue line. Had a stick lift. Vyasov almost swooped on the crumbs. And this is an opportunity for the Ice Dogs the other way. Here's Paul Crowder. Nice move from him. Shakes one check. Crowder moves in. Oh, and it just needed the last move. And that would have been worthy of goal. Well, contender definitely for goal of the year had he finished that one off. But some good defense there for the Mustangs.
The interesting thing is he had Manko open too. And like so he had two options on that, you know?
It's Isaacson with a shot. Did well to control that puck. And, well, there's a little shot from Marino. And face washes aplenty coming in. Jeff Scott's picked someone. As Marino just getting under Max Perrin's skin a little bit. And he's got someone. Looks like he's got, has he got Thomas?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's picked a few out. He's got Alex Stevenson, James Marino, Parker Thomas, and the linesman coming back for more. So it looks like we'll have... Oh, sorry, Marino's... No. Is Marino gone from the game?
Oh, maybe. Huh?
Oh, he's having a few words to the Mustangs bench. So that's interesting. Has he been... I'm just going to...
so. He's gone.
Looks like Jeff Scott's tossed him out of the game. Well, he's at least gone to the bench. Well, no, he's been put back because, look, Jeff Scott was motioning him out to the dressing room. Maybe he just said he got the wrong guy. Marino's out of the box. Looks like it's just coincidental minors.
He was having some serious words with Max, I think.
But I didn't think he did anything. No, nothing to warrant getting thrown out of the game for. It looked just like your standard scrum. Yeah. So the penalties
will get to see it again here.
So good job there from Isaac. Here's the shot. Good save from Bartis.
Yeah, so it's just he hit Isaac Christensen from behind. Christian Isaacson.
So there's a little shot
behind.
From Max.
Yeah.
Looks like Alex Stevenson gave him a little rabbit punch in.
But it was all because I think Marino hit Christian from behind, and then they got into a bit of a rumble.
Let's have a look. So it looks like it's a someone must have got a double minor. Looks like Alex Stevenson. Well, there's only one penalty up on the board.
Yeah, that's right.
But the Mustangs seem to have.
They
got a 5-on-4. So we'll wait for confirmation of the penalties. So it's a 5-on-4 power play here to the Mustangs out of that wash up. So I'm assuming because of the two people in the box, it's either a 2 and a 10 or it's a double minor there to Alex Stevenson. Okay, so Alex Stevenson's got a 2-minute. We're just waiting for the wash-up. And Parker Thomas has got 10.
So that's why we're on a power play.
Okay.
So he's just got a 10, not a 2 and a 10.
So if we have a look, here's the washout, right?
So watch the cross-check right there. Okay.
No, yes. So Alex Stevenson, definite cross-check. But I don't know why Thomas has now got... He's just out of your shot there. Yeah. Anyway. Back now here to Robertson. Here's McMahon now with the puck. So the washout, 6:55 to go, 2-2 the score. Mustangs on a power play, thanks to 2 minutes to Alex Stevenson. They'll be without Parker Thomas for 10 minutes. They have 2 imports, both getting 10s in 2 consecutive games. Obviously, Christian Isaacson getting one last night. Now it's Thomas's turn. Back now here to McMahon at the point. Sends it out wide. Robertson centers it and into the padding of Garrett Bartas. It goes. Get a face-off.
If you're not a hockey aficionado, you'd be sitting here wondering, how could it be that I have a guy in the box for 10 minutes,
yeah,
right? And yet I'm on the power play, and the other dudes have a guy in the box for 2. Anthony Russell, the Mustangs doing their best Barcelona impression for a moment there, but good reply from them and a lovely shot to tie it up.
Well, does that mean we're going to have a 4-0 return leg? I'm going to say, I mean, I'm not a Liverpool fan or a hot Tottenham fan, but 2 good games in the Champions League this week, as well as a great A-League semi-final last night. I'm a Perth Glory fan, so too bad Adelaide. Here's Isaacson now. Parent just inside the blue line. 41 seconds left on the man advantage. Stevenson, maybe a second, as Isaacson trying to get that one through to Matt Anderson, who's set up shop there, making a nuisance of Shannon McGregor. Back now here to Parent at the point. Just settled down a bouncing puck. The shot was blocked up high. The Mustangs will take control again. Anderson just lost his edge and lost the puck in turn, but it's pumped right back in. The Ice Dogs will have to clear it out of the zone as McGregor just flings that out. Glove down by Tim Crowder, but Humphreys has it. The Mustangs will reset. That'll pretty much do it, though, for the power play, as Alex Stevenson getting ready to rejoin the action here for the Ice Dogs. Back to 5-on-5. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Here's Vyasov now. Vyasov just draws 2 Ice Dogs players to him. Not much to work with, so he takes a shot of his own and going wide, but Bartas making sure of it nonetheless. Isaacson holds the line. As Humphreys now tries to dangle his way through. Met solidly there by Crowder. Good check there from Tim. And he cancels out that attacking opportunity here for the Mustangs as Alex Stevenson heads to the bench for a change. Pataki has the puck now. 5 minutes to go with number 5 has the puck. 2-2 the score if you're just joining us here at the O'Brien Icehouse. As Tim Crowder can't dig at the puck there, Pataki tries to. Did well there to stop Jamie Burke from advancing, but Jones has it now here for the Mustangs. Drops it off. Bit of Burke looking for Anderson to connect there. And just can't finish the final piece of that play, but a quick shot from the point. And, well, that was a bouncing puck, and Bartas did well to knock that out of danger. And here's Dunwoody now with Bright in pursuit. Drops it off now here for Crowder. Slips that one through. Dunwoody gets shoved to the ice there by the bigger man, McMahon, but had his pocket picked in turn by Crowder. Here's Quayle winding up, and that went at least 2 or 3 meters wide. And here's Farmy with the puck now here for the Ice Dogs. Shovels it across now here to Monahan. Monahan drops it off beautifully for Dunwoody. Thought about the shot, cross-ice pass. Well, went right between Quayle and Farmy, and Jones might have a 2-on-1 the other way here with Stringer. Here's Jones, top of the circle, cuts back, fans on the shot. And that was a very good counter-attacking opportunity there for the Mustangs that went begging. Monahan now. Monahan drops it off. Carini. Carini's shot, and it's straight down the middle. Jaden Pine-Murphy makes a very comfortable save.
I was just going to say before that William Hodge Price. Hey, is that Rod Johns or Luke, the Last Jedi Skywalker in the commentary today? Now that's the first one I've had like that. That's not bad.
I thought you were going to give the Alec. I thought you were going to give the Alec Guinness quote there. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I was going to say more Obi-Wan than Luke Skywalker, but well, given how old Mark Hamill is now, I guess that's a pretty fair comparison.
Thanks.
I'm trying to relate to your generation of Star Wars, not the crappy remakes that have come out so far. Anyway, that is just my 2 cents on that. As this one picked up now here by Humphreys. Just peels off a couple of times. Has to evade his own teammate there and loses control of the puck in the process. And Stevenson just has to hack this one out now here to Pataki. There's McGregor now. Just a little bit of give and go here between the Ice Dogs D-men. McGregor just chips this one up ice. Looks like it was touched, so icing's cancelled out. Sent across to the opposite wall. Here's Pataki now. Salato. can't get a clean touch on the puck. As Erzen making a pest of himself. Stevenson comes out with a loose puck, just swings it back in behind the net, but no one really home there for the Ice Dogs. And the puck goes back out into their own defensive zone, and Bartas will take control here for the Dogs at the back. Chips this one off the boards. Sent out in front. Penalty. And, checking from behind.
Apps got it. And what a time, too, because they'd given the puck up, and the Mustangs had a free run at Bartas.
2 and 10 is the call. So 2 players in the box for 10 minutes. Apps and Thomas, 2 of the Mustangs' better players. With 2:48, so Thomas will probably come out about a minute or so inside the third period. And Apps
will be there for half of it.
Yeah. So this is crazy. We've had a string of misconducts in the last couple of games. Here's the check. Well, it looked like it was more from the side, to be honest. I mean, that's a pretty quick cut camera angle there. If we'd slow that down, we could break it down.
You just got to be very, very careful. Can't see it.
Yeah. So this one's sent back out now here to Crowder. Quayle now. And sent it front and just wide of the net, instead of wide of the stick, I should say, of Crowder, who was trying to shovel that one in. Back the other way, here comes Isaacson around, almost around Quayle to the slot. And that went right into the instep there of Dylan Quayle. And they made the shot block, but paid the price. Good defensive play from him there to impede Vyasov legally. And just slow it down and get it back out over the blue line. Shot right back in, but the Mustangs will have to touch up. 2:10 remaining. 1:20 left on the penalty, the minor penalty to Brad Apps for checking from behind, but he'll be, as we talked about earlier, sitting for at least half the period with the misconduct portion of that penalty. Here's Crowder now. Slings it across into the slot. No one can get a clean touch. Crowder still has the puck, looking for Monahan. Net's come off its moorings. We'll have a whistle. 1:06 remaining on the man advantage. 1:54 left in the second.
Well, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out 1:54. If the Ice Dogs score here, and give them momentum going into the third period, which is exactly what they want. And it's very, very important to stay out of the box. You just have to be careful along the boards, because you know that they're very interpretive calls.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you're going to end up with a 2 and 10, which Mr. Apps did, and he's now sitting in the box. I'm sure he's chatting about how that happened.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to have another look at that at slow-mo sometime, but I said you got 2 of your best players in the box for 10 or 20 minutes cumulatively. That's going to send any coach bonkers in terms of the line combinations. Here's Crowder now. Sends it across. Monahan slings one on net, and good save from Hayden Murphy. And he throws the shoulder there on McMahon. Having a good game so far, Matt Monahan, I would argue.
Yeah, I think so too.
1:33 to go. 43 seconds left on the penalty. Here's Crowder now. Over the line. Crowder just got a couple of Mustangs in front of him. Peels off. Quayle calling for it, but decides to go to his brother Tim. This is Tim Crowder now. Over the blue line. Over the goal line, I should say. Here's Crowder. Back to Quayle. One-time blast, and that was just about half a foot to the right of Jaden Pine Murphy as Humphreys puts the wheels on. Paul Crowder goes back, and that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
And I think there was a... Yeah, so I sort of have to agree with him. Probably I would call both of them for that.
And what would you give the Mustangs player?
I'd give him the dive. I'd give the embellishment there. I think there was a lot of sauce on that.
That might get tied back to that Barcelona comment about actors. And
yeah, come on, he went down. I think there was a sniper there in the fourth row that just shot Mitch Humphreys. But I guess, you know, both not excusing it, but every team does it.
See, I'm going, maybe you should be a soccer player.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Are you a Spurs or a Liverpool fan? We can heat this debate up. I don't like either team, but anyway, here's McGregor. As this one moved out, 56 seconds left, and then the Mustangs will have a short power play. As Robertson digging it there with Anderson. Robertson now just spoons this one out. And that pass was tipped off an Ice Dog stick, so there'll be no icing. Burke has it now, pushed there by McGregor. And Parent has it now for the Mustangs with less than 30 seconds remaining here in the period. Parent dishes it off. Here's Jones looking for a shooting lane, hasn't got one. Gives it back now here to Parent. Parent now top of the umbrella formation there. Just couldn't get it through the traffic. And it comes out back out now here to Jamie Burke behind the net. Hands it off. Goes cross ice now here to Jones. Swings it looking for McDowell for the tip there. Just parked himself at the top of the crease as Burke goes down and looks straight at the referee. Says get up, play continues. And that will do it. 2-2 it remains after the second period. 2 goals in the first period, 2 goals in the second. One apiece in each period to each team. And as we have a little bit of discussion.
Yep, there's a fairly heated chit-chat going on, or there was anyways, about whether there should have been a call on that or not.
So, well, the story of the game so far for mine has been the penalties, because it's pretty even regardless between the two teams.
Yep. So it goes back to what I always say. You need to keep your cool,
yep.
right? You need to stay focused on what the outcome is to win the game. And you can't do that by having 2 good players sitting in the box for 10 minutes, okay?
Yep. Yep.
And part of it, you can say, well, it's a referee's discretion. The other part of it is you got to be smart.
Yep.
And you have to know what you can and can't get away with, okay?
Yep. So, after 2 periods of play, it's 2-2 between the Ice Dogs and Mustangs here at the O'Brien Icehouse here in Melbourne. We'll be back with the 3rd period of play right after this. Don't go away. And welcome back to the O'Brien Icehouse here in Melbourne for period number 3 of the Doggies and the Mustangs. 2-2 the score, 2 goals in each period. Pretty close game so far. And the shot count in that period, 20-9, was 20-9 for the game, well in favour of the Ice Dogs. And Rod, your thoughts coming into this third period?
Like I said before,
my
friend's back here. Did Mitch Humphreys take a dive in that late second period? Well, I think...
Or was Liam Webster behind the grassy knoll? Well,
I think that there was a bit of Hollywood in that.
We'll have to dig out the Zapru to film James Morgan Scott somewhere. But an interesting call nonetheless. I thought there was definitely an embellishment penalty in that. That's just my 2 cents. But here's McMahon now. All the way back down here to Isaacson. Back now here to Anderson. And the Mustangs just encroach over the blue line here legally. Here's Vyasov. Chipped out back now here to Isaacson with McMahon at the point. Got his path cut off, but he's got an opportunity now. Fanned on it. And Manko tried to slip that one out of the zone, but the Mustangs keep it alive.
You don't see that very often. He was open, and he had a good opportunity.
You don't see that either. Isaacson that just went through his legs, and Jaden Pine-Murphy will leave this back. Well, actually rather pedestrian there. The forecheck of the Ice Dogs has been very good so far this evening. It's caused a fair bit of problems, I think, for the Mustangs' defence as Crowder gets back on the ice. That's Tim Crowder, and they're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Into the inside now. Come the Mustangs, and Vyasov digs at the puck. There's a turnaround shot there from Parent. Was blocked on the way through, and this one shoveled up now here to Carini. Got not much assistance on offer, waits for the troops to arrive. Monahan just bounces over his shoulder. Manages to feather that one through, just can't find an outlet in the end, and the Mustangs will start out of their own zone here through Matt Anderson. 18:29 to play here in this third and final period of regulation. We could potentially head to overtime should the score remain the same, but given how close this game's been, it very could easily go either way. No team's really had, in my opinion, an ascendancy. Even the shot count being 20-9, the Mustangs have done a good job on the counter. And they've got control here. And that shot from McMahon was about 2 meters wide of the glove of Garrett Bartis. Spataki just pokes it out. Carini chips it across. Dunwoody then just tried to float one there through to Monahan, but it ends up under the pads of Pine-Murphy. Will get a whistle.
Well, it's like I said at the end of the second period. It's very important to make sure that these guys stay in the game. Anno Pencil, this next period is going to be intense. Would not be surprised to see these teams getting a mite more chippy now. Sure is exciting though. Well, that's the thing. You can beat chippy, but you got to stay out of the box.
Yeah. And well, he's tuning in from San Jose, so a big good morning
to you. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was just sort of abbreviated there. I saw the original tweet upstairs, but great to see you North American fans staying up or getting up to watch us.
And it's good that our producer's on the ball too.
Indeed, for once. Here's Burke now with a shot, and a good save there from Bartis. Oh, I remember what happened last night. Here's McMahon, and another save there from Bartis. 2 good stops on 2 consecutive shots for the Ice Dogs goaltender. Here's Quayle. Back out now here to Paul Kreider with his brother Tim. The lone hands, 2-on-3. They're outnumbered, but they're probably not outgunned considering their talent. There's a shot across. It's loose in front of Chip, and it's under Pine-Murphy. He covers. And just as I said that, a potential scoring opportunity there for the Dogs from the Crowder brothers.
Well, there's certainly a force to be reckoned with, and Tim Crowder has 2 points tonight already. And Mustangs want to make sure that they don't let those guys freewheel. They need to be disciplined. They need to keep them out of the scoring zone.
So, I was going to say, a fan from San Jose, they'd be pretty happy with the way things are progressing. So, San Jose back in the conference final.
That's right.
Yep.
Have you been watching any of the NHL?
Oh, indeed I have, even if my team was finished second last this season. But no, I mean, I'm a Chicago fan, mate.
Oh, what happened there? How did they end up in second last spot?
I really don't know. At least we're ahead of LA. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, it's a rant for another time. You can't stay on top for too long, though, in the salary cap era, as that one's going to be icing. And if Farmy touches the puck, we'll have a whistle.
Tell me something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You're Toronto, right? 7th game.
Yeah, they're the gift that keeps on giving, in my opinion.
I couldn't believe that. Paul Jackson. Don't be a hater. Let's get the Stangs and a huge 2 games coming up for the mighty Reds.
That being Liverpool, of course. So obviously they could win the league this weekend and do the double and win the Champions League next weekend. But yeah, so I'm not being a hater at all, mate, but so my team's in League One, so we did beat you in the 1988 FA Cup final. I still hold on to that. So
it's good to hold on to memories.
Yes, even if it's only one win. Here's Vyasov. Back now here to Parker Thomas. Shoots it across, and it's loose in front. A good save from Bartis. Right on the doorstep. He's stuffed out Andrew Wozen. As Dunwoody gives Thomas a little face wash. And there's a bit of acting there, I think, from Parker Thomas. But given the way this game's gone, you might as well, right?
Well, yeah, maybe. But like I said, he can't afford to be in the box. Get out of there, do your bit, and then stick it to them, put the puck in the net. Las Vegas.
The Golden Knights, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like, they were up, right? They had the game in the bag.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, one play, and they lose it.
Yep. And then it all goes south from there. Yeah. That's often what it takes. Like, there's usually in those series, there's one play that shifts the momentum of the whole series, and that's it. You know, and teams psychologically sort of don't recover from.
And it's a funny thing that people don't get that, but you're totally correct. Your psyche goes south for the winter, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket.
Well, it's like when the Caps last year, when Holtby made that save on the with the paddle on the stick, and then the Capitals really just owned the rest of the series and won the cup. So it just plays like that go a long way. Here's Humphries now. Dunwoody chips it. Oh, that was a shot out of nowhere, and Bartis had to be alert to keep that aside. There's a bit of a collision there between Stringer and Monahan. Monahan was trying to change, and getting decked there at the blue line was Dunwoody. His parent laid the boom on him. Saladio almost collided with Dunwoody there. Two teammates almost running into each other. Here's Robertson surveying the scene up ice. Gets it now here to Stringer, who plays a little chip and chase and retreats to the bench. Bartis settled that down nicely. There's McDowell now. Burke gets pushed into the glass. Spot he was familiar with last night. Here's Marino trying to get around McMahon. Just lost control of the puck right. Managed to get it off the boards as Burke met solidly there. Nice stiff check there by Jack Ransom, the youngster. Now for his, I think it's only his first or second shift of the game. Here's Quayle. So Andrew Petrie mixing things up here in this third period. As Burke now gets checked there by Farmy. Marino, that's off, so it's going to be icing. And we'll get a whistle.
How old's Mr. Ransom?
I think he's 17, I believe. Just to fact check that, someone. Just off the top of my head. But as I said, part of this Ice Dogs, they have that, they're an interesting team because, you know, they still have all those sort of long-time players. I mean, Todd Stevens is not playing this year. Scott Stevenson hung him up after last year. You know, and obviously Billy Cliff not playing, Cam Todd not playing, they're both injured. Those guys that have been there for a long time. Then you've got, you know, Ellis Carini and these other players. Jake Burgess has been there a while, but, you know, James Marino plays a big hit over there. Jones and Manco colliding. There's a shot there from Burke that's going to go into the netting, and we'll get a whistle. But yeah, that was the challenge. They're sort of in a similar situation, I think, to the Melbourne Ice, where they've got older guys who have been around for a while, and they're sort of transitioning towards the end of their careers. And then you've got the young guys. There's a bit of a gap in the middle. So, I mean, that's a challenge for any club.
Mustangs,
but, yeah.
What they've tried to do is they've tried to bring some juniors in.
Yep.
There's, I think, 5 of them at the moment, and they're trying to, like, meld them into the club and that sort of thing and make them feel part of it, because they realize that they have to have something to build for.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and the Thunder have done that pretty well. They've got a good crop of youngsters coming through. Adelaide, I mean, they're probably arguably in the worst spot at the moment because, you know, they had 7, 8 retirements of some of the best players that have ever played in the league. And, you know, they're two years into that, and they're having to bring in their young guys. It's just a cycle, really, in any team sport. But, so we're seeing it in a couple of AIHL teams this year. This one, well, that was well read there. As Farmy went to let the hit there on Isaacson, and he saw it coming. Isaacson still got the puck side of the net, tries to jam it home. It's loose. Thomas can't get it in. 6 players in about 2 square meters of ice. Robertson follows up, and Bartis just got the right pad on that. Well, flurry there from the Mustangs.
And if you're the coach from both benches, you'd be going, there's 5 guys who can drop a hula hoop on them.
Yeah. So Thomas evades the check, doesn't evade the check of Farmy, but he's offside and will have to retreat over the blue line. Here's Crowder now. That's Paul. did well against two Mustangs players, but just couldn't maintain possession of the puck. All the way back now here to Dylan Quayle with Pataki. Pataki now over the line. Just down the near side. Just plays a little chip and chase. And, well, that's a holding call all day. And we lost that battle there to Jackson Lane. And pretty silly penalty to give away, I'd say. And it's going to be a power play here to the Mustangs.
Yeah, well, again, look at the time. 13 minutes left, 2-2. You have to be disciplined, not take those kind of penalties.
Yep. As I said, it's been a penalty-filled affair. Here's Isaacson. Look at the...
And look at how many people are right in front of the net. And watch the play here. The puck comes out. Look, no one's there. He walks right in.
Yep.
So you need to be spread out and watching the other people to see what's going on.
So power play here to the Stangs. 13-16 remaining here in the third. So potentially a pivotal moment in the game. As Jones gets a shot, and that was over the shoulder there of Bartis. Robertson now. Up to Burke. Looking for an outlet on the point, couldn't find it. That one popped up, and Humphries tried to swat at it, as did Jones, and it's just going to trickle out into the neutral zone. The Mustangs will have to re-enter. 1:34. They do so with ease with Burke standing on the far side. Drops it off now here to Robertson. Shoots! And that was wide despite the sliding block there from Dunwoody. Parent now. Parent did well to fight off the check there of Dunwoody and get it back with one hand to Jones. Jones walks into the top of the high slot, and well, he just sprayed that one wide. It was deflected before it got through to Bartis. And Burke. This one pops out now to Carini. He was eyeing a breakaway if Parent didn't get a stick. Timely stick there from Max. Here's Burke now, top of the circle, down all the way to the goal line. Still got it, trying to draw players to him. Did exactly that. Back to Parent now at the blue line. Parent back down to Burke, and well, that's loses his edge, and that shot eventually gobbled up by Bartis.
No call.
The call was there to be made. Like, that was a trip.
Yeah.
I don't think it was intentional, but it's still a trip. Yeah.
Well, we had one like that last night, and I was trying to explain to someone that at the end of the day, you might not intentionally do it, but it's a clear trip, and it happens, and you're gone.
Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I recant my statement. Recant my statement indeed. That was... look, I'm sure the intention was the puck, but, you know, look, the intent there just took his legs out. Stick in between the legs out. Trip all day.
Yeah.
Anyway, play continues. Here's Isaacson. And that shot was saved by Bartis, who's been goaltender is your best penalty killer, and he's been exactly that so far. McMahon across. And, well, here comes Crowder now, trying to open up the ice. Both Crowders in effect. Tim and Paul, and well, that shot eventually into the glass, and not much the Ice Dogs could do with that. But they are short-handed. They did pretty well conceding that to grab about at least 10 seconds off the penalty. And about 20 seconds of it total remain before Pataki will rejoin the action here for Sydney. Vyasov chips this one up now here to Isaacson. Hands off now over to the far side to Thomas. Back to Isaacson, across. And, well, searching for the puck there. And the last part of that play with Brendan McDowell, but it comes back now here to Tim Crowder. Crowder now got three Mustangs players to deal with, makes three of them run into each other. Here's Crowder across to Quayle. They score!
Oh, wow.
What a goal there from the Ice Dogs, and it is 3-2. That was all class from Crowder.
Watch the play, though, because they should have had him at the blue line, and they mistimed it, and he actually coasted right past across them and cut in and left them hanging, and he had a clear play on the goal. So he should have been taken right there.
Well, bowling pin action there, and Quayle found the gap too. Man, that's a contender for goal of the season, I would say. Just by sheer position.
Well, look, they misread it, okay? There, three of them were there, and they just misread that and got caught up amongst themselves and allowed Crowder to go right around them. Or was it Quayle, sorry?
No, Crowder went around them, and Quayle came through the middle. So we got a penalty now, delayed call coming up against the Ice Dogs. And I'm not sure who that was on. We were discussing the goal, but Dylan Quayle has made it 3-2 here to Sydney. And finally, the Ice Dogs touch the puck. It looks like Ellis Carini is the one sitting. And he's disputing the call. High sticking.
Well, again, this is the sort of thing where a good team would take a couple deep breaths and have a rethink about what they're going to do. They've got an opportunity now on a power play to even the score again. And and get back into it. Not that they're out of it at all, okay?
It's just there in the corner and just out of frame too, so I can't really make an assessment on that. So anyway, the Dogs are again short-handed, and that just trickles through to Garrett Bartis. Will have another face-off. So Ellis Carini sit for 2. 1:57 remaining. The Mustangs trail by 1. Score update from Adelaide between the Adelaide Adrenaline and the North Stars. 6-1 in favour of Newcastle. It's obviously game 1 of a double-header. They'll play again tomorrow. Perth and CBR yet to begin. They'll get underway shortly. Here's Isaacson. Back to Vyasov. And all that pass is just through the crease and wide. As this one put out now here to Crowder. McMahon. Back now here to Isaacson. 1:34 left on the power play. Thomas takes the puck and wheels around with Anderson and Vyasov on this second power play unit here for the Mustangs. Thomas did well, drives to the net. Got hooked on the way through and not called there by the official. Here's Thomas. Thomas now just surveying his options, and the Ice Dogs have a pretty efficient box system here. As that one managed to penetrate though, and Bartis just puts that one out. And Quayle, well, fanned on the clearing attempt, and spills now here to Isaacson. Just lost a bit of steam on that clearing attempt there, and Vyasov has it now. 55 seconds left. Isaacson back to Vyasov. There's some jostling in front of the net. Anderson and Thomas, and both the Crowders out there as well for Sydney. It's the side of the net, jamming at it there is McMahon, and Garrett Bartis again shuts the door.
Let's just talk from a coaching perspective. They're on a penalty kill, and they have a guy in the far corner, and he's looking to clear the puck through the middle, okay? Yep. And he fans on it, and what happens? Like, no way, up the boards, okay? Yep. Somewhere else, but not cross ice in your own end.
Well, that shot right off the draw from Robertson deflected twice and into the netting.
So, you know, one thing we haven't talked about is Mr. Moses, and have you seen his suit?
Yeah, no, he's wearing a different one last night. Oh, are you talking the same? He's not wearing the same one 2 nights in a row.
I don't think he is, man. I think that I was asking who his tailor was.
Sounds like something I'd do. Anyway, it is Robertson. But no, I was going to say Johnny Moses looking sharp, as is Bussy Damien Holland, the other Mustang assistant coach. That one's stolen there by Marino. The lone hand up here on this short-handed forecheck for the Ice Dogs. Not to take anything away from Fridge as well. He's looking dapper as usual.
Fridge has got it right where it counts, dude.
And this one's just going to pop up over the blue line. And here's Robertson. In over the blue line again. Here's Burke. And, well, that one chipped across. And that'll pretty much do it as that last shot there. Oh, from Robertson. Have rebounded out, and Pataki managed to get it off and out of the crease. A good chance at the depth of the power play there for the Mustangs from Troy Robertson. As Marino shoved to the ice. Carini is back on the ice as we are back to 5-on-5. He's right back into it, but here's a shot from Bickdell, and a good save from Bartis, who's having a blinder of a third period.
He sure is, actually. I think his game's improved from about the middle of the last period to now. He seems to be very confident. He's on it. That goal is why the Sydney Ice Dogs import are worth the price of admission alone this year. Michael Clough.
Look, we were talking about them pretty much all week, particularly after the Adrenaline game last week, where they 8-0, and it was just the Crowders and Tallman show, and exactly that we saw it. I mean, they've been their forecheck, and particularly their ability to make cross turnovers in the offensive zone is really something to watch, and they've done it particularly when they play one man high on the Mustangs. I think the Mustangs sort of don't know where to go a lot of the time.
Well, but again, it comes back to communication and that too. So you could see that there was a bit of a breakdown in communication. That gave them the chance to come around. And then he's smart enough to see the open guy. And so it's good hockey sense. I just want to put a little plug in for the girl that the brain cancer day is all about. So I was very fortunate to coach Alicia Way in softball, and she was a lovely girl who when she knew she was dying, decided that she was going to do something to contribute back to brain cancer, which she had certainly done.
That shot from Apps is kicked out. And yes, so we should mention that was the part of the pre-game ceremony as the net's come off its moorings. And yeah, it was a great ceremony. Both their parents were here. They dropped the ceremonial puck.
That's correct.
And a great cause.
And Alicia was smart enough to really get involved, you know. That's a great thing. Andrew McDougall, that's a superb goal, terrific stuff from the Ice Dogs. Stang should be defensively better organized out. Easy check to stop that play with 3 there. Well, that's correct, and that's what we talked about. There was a breakdown in communication, and it let the Ice Dogs have the door open for them.
8:06 remaining here in the third. Robertson tried to settle down a bouncing puck. Crowder almost took it. Manco can, chips it into the zone, and players onside. Into the corner. Crowder lays the check. Vyasov goes digging for the puck, and Robertson picks it up off the kick plate and starts out now here for the Mustangs. Trail by a goal with 7 and change remaining here in regulation. Parent took the puck in the skates off his stick. Now here to Vyasov. Vyasov moves in, slides it across. Didn't get through in the end. Bartas had the angle covered. And the Dogs break out. That one's just too far for Manco. That's a headhunting shot there over the mask of Bartas. And all the way back now to the opposite blue line, it will go. We talk about the Mustangs, they'll head on the road next week. They've got the Bears on Saturday and the North Stars up in Newcastle on Sunday. And the Dogs, well, they'll return home. They'll go to the nation's capital to take on the CBR Brave on the Saturday.
You know what we haven't done, dude?
Yep.
We haven't actually said hello to our little friends in the West and Stan Scott. That's not like us.
Well, he'd be busy right about now because the game has started. I'm sure he's enjoying a Sandalford wine or two. Here is this Vyasov now. Vyasov tries to slide the puck through. Oh, managed to get the puck back. Vyasov, top of the slot. Great vision there to spot Thomas. Dragged to the ice, and that's a penalty. And he was tripped. And the Mustangs, again to the power play for the next 2.
Well, that's interesting. I think the Ice Dogs again lost their composure. And once again, if you took a hula hoop and dropped it around there, you'd see that everybody was in one place.
Yep.
Okay?
So a crucial power play or penalty kill, depending on what jersey you're wearing at this stage of the game. Let's have a look at the play again. Here's Thomas. Well, looked like Dunwoody came in there. That was probably what swayed the decision. Here's McMahon. Carini now pressing both Mustangs defensemen. Robertson has the puck up high. Deals it off to Jones. They change places. Jones back to Robertson, down low. Robertson tried to center. Well read there by Farmy. Back now here to Jones. Cross ice. And good stick save there from Bartas. Oh, the loose puck was poked out brilliantly there by Farmy.
But it was a good shot, like nothing much on it, just in traffic, okay? Sometimes I think they work too hard to try to make something happen instead of get the puck in front of that goaltender where there's traffic and the guy's in trouble, you know what I mean?
Yep. And I said the Melbourne Ice sort of did that to the Mustangs last night, particularly when they were up on the power play. So it's 6:37 remaining. And I said this start of the season, looks like the North Stars are going to continue their unbeaten run. They're well up over the Adelaide Adrenaline in the third period in Adelaide. As that puck shoveled up to the top, it falls fortuitously here to Burke, but good defensive play there from Quayle. Read it and poked it out to the neutral zone as Burke pretty much had an open shot. Here's Jones now. Jones moves in, slides it across to Burke. Top of the circle is deflected. And the Mustangs have 2 chances go begging there in about 10 seconds. Shot comes back out, and that's wide, and no threat to the net there of Garrett Bartas. The puck bounces up and to the top of the high slot. Crowder feeds it up. Good read there from Quayle. 2-on-1 short-handed the other way. Now here for the Dogs. Bouncing puck. What a shot there from Crowder out of midair. And he forced Pine Murphy into a save. The Crowders really are something else.
That was Quayle actually that got that shot.
Oh, it was Quayle, excuse me.
Crowder gave it to him.
Here's Burke now. Well, he can claim it if he wants. Anyway, this one moved out and up to the top of the face-off circle. 31 seconds left on the man advantage on the penalty to Shannon McGregor for tripping. Back down here to Isaacson, just inside the blue line, deals it off. Here's Parent with Robertson down low. Shoots all through traffic. Seen all the way, though, by Bartas and clubbed out there by Crowder. 13 seconds remaining. 5:17 left to go in the period. His parent just deals it across now here to Isaacson. Mustangs looking for that tying goal. Just onside they are. Here's Thomas. Threads it through. Poked out there by the Dogs, but not out of the zone. But they've got 5 players on the ice now as McGregor has served his penalty. Marino now takes it for the Ice Dogs and hands it off to his one numerical lesser, that being Pataki. Went back to him and made a meal of it. But tried to come to his teammate's rescue. Thomas still has the puck. He fell to the ice. No impingement there at all, though. As Isaacson side of the net as Thomas. His shot is loose. It's loose in front. Robertson on! Did Robertson
get a piece of that?
I don't know if that was the save of the game, because it certainly was. If Bartas got a piece of that, we'll have to see that on the replay, because that was point blank.
Yeah, he had at least half the net there, and I think he got a piece of it with his glove.
Looks like Monahan's shed a skate blade. There's collision at centre ice there between Vyasov and Marino. And so it looks like the trainer's going to have to go to work on Matt Monahan. They'll be without his services should he be sans skate blade. Here's 4:08 remaining here in the third. Picked up here by Brendan McDowell with a wall of Ice Dogs in front of him. Manco pokes it out. Not out of the zone, it is now. And McMahon will gather it in now here for the Mustangs. Real tension between these two with the slimmest of margins here late in the game. Quayle did well to draw the Mustangs players to him and chip it out of the zone, and that's going to be icing. It just took a bit of a in-swing there towards the end, and we'll have a face-off toward the left of Garrett Bartas. So here's the play from earlier. It was Crowder. That was Quayle. Right. Clubbed it out of midair. And here's the save from earlier. Now let's have a look. This one comes out, Robertson. Oh, he did. He got off his shoulder. What a save from Garrett Bartas. Initially thought it was off the glove. And the puck goes into the corner. Crowder just pokes it out. Back to Manco, back to Crowder. 2-on-2 developing the other way. Crowder, nice moves back to Manco, but he can't get control of the puck. And we'll have a whistle. And don't forget, tomorrow from 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, the Melbourne Ice and the Sydney Ice Dogs will do battle here at the O'Brien Icehouse. Don't forget to tune in for all the action. As the Ice looking to get back in the winners column after their loss to the Mustangs last night here at the O'Brien Icehouse, and another classic Melbourne derby, the first one for season 2019. Full house. It was absolutely rocking here at the Icehouse last night. Friday night hockey proves to be a winner again. That's about a mile offside, and Crowder gets called.
Hey, not to be picky.
Yep.
Right, but this is Australia.
Yeah.
So you got to use kilometre.
Well, come on, I've driven in both countries. I've driven extensively in both countries. Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm trying to cater for both audiences.
Well, the guy in San Jose.
Yeah, exactly right. See, I'm trying to be considerate of our
thinker,
international
aren't
fans.
you?
Yeah, well, sometimes. Depends if... depends who's got control of my bank account, myself or my wife. So here's Vyasov now. And that's offside. That's a kilometre offside.
That's very good.
And there we go. Now at 9-2 between Adelaide and the North Stars. So I think that game is well and truly over. And Aussie Joe's got some explaining to do on Twitter. So we'll just...
They win.
So this one goes back now here to Farmy. And well, that's intercepted on the way out. 3:03 remaining. One of my favourite calibers. Over now here to Parker Thomas. Looking for Vyasov at the far post, but his progress was cut off to Sydney Ice Dogs in his path. But now here to Thomas. Here's Thomas with a shot and he scores! Just like that, Parker Thomas has tied the game. 3-3 here at the O'Brien Icehouse with less than 3 to go. So that's his second goal of the game. We thought McMahon got the first one. It was awarded to Parker Thomas. And he's made this one 3-3. And what a goal this was. On the division there from Vyasov, despite Thomas coming in at the high slot. But the Dogs were a bit out to sea there on that defensive coverage.
And what more could you ask for with 2.5 minutes left in the game?
And we could potentially be going to overtime the way this is going. Here's Crowder. And I'm sure our director will love that. Here's a chip over the top, over the blue line, and that's going to trickle through to Pine Murphy, who will cover. So that means if we current run of the ladder, the North Stars will be on 15 points from 5 games. If the Mustangs win in regulation, they'll go to 13 points. If the Dogs win in regulation, they'll go to 9 points. If we get an overtime situation, the Mustangs can take 2 points. And the Dogs can take 2 points and go to 8th spot. They'll leapfrog temporarily anyway, the Bears, or depending on if the Brave win over the Thunder. So plenty of possibilities, and probably not so much that important at this stage of the season. It's not about winning the first few, it's about winning the last one.
Well, but the interesting things with the Mustangs, even if they only take a point, they will have not come away from one game without getting a point.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing.
As this one picked up now here by McGregor. Just digs at the puck. And it's picked up now here by Damien Bright. Hands it off. Out to centre. Carini now. What can he muster? Had it stolen from him, but he might get it back. Carini out-jousted there by Sean Jones. As this one shot up. And here come the Mustangs again. Here's Burke. Burke hands it off. Jones with a drive. Good save from Bartis. And he's read it like a beach ball. It trickles out, and that pass from Bright to McDowell ended up in his skates with time expiring. 100 seconds left here in the third period. Crowder, that's Paul, had it stripped from him and chipped off the boards and out, but Manco gathers it in for the Dogs, and they build from the back. Farmy, one-touch pass that's going to end up as icing, and a whistle and a face-off to the right of Garrett Bartis. Let's have a look at the replay. Here's Jones. Look at that save from Bartis. It actually looked like it was deflected on the way through. Well out of his crease to challenge on the angle. Had a great game, Garrett Bartis.
He certainly is playing a good game.
As we talked about, Nick Novosedlak picked up his first shutout last week in net for the Dogs against the Adelaide Adrenaline. As Robertson now, he's on the bench for this game. We talked about the dilemma for the Dogs having 6 really, really good imports week to week is who misses out. Here's Parent now. Parent, his shot through traffic, and that's kicked out by Bartis. Vyasov. Pinned to the boards there by Quayle. Isaacson. His shot, and that's gobbled up again by Bartis, and we'll have another whistle.
Well, the Ice Dogs can't let people like Isaacson walk out like that and look, and then take a shot. They've got to take him out of the play. They can't give him free space.
Yep. So after tomorrow's game, there'll be no games for the Mustangs at the Icehouse for a good couple of weeks. As
we don't play again until the 25th here,
yeah,
I don't think.
25th next game. So
are we on? Or
I believe we are. So unless you don't want to be, it is Manco.
This is the highlight of my life.
Oh, he's pushed out now here to centre. Here's Vyasov. Farmy, had him in the crosshairs. It's built ahead. Parent with a shot. Good save, Bartis. Farmy got put out of position almost with that check, but Parent was denied there by Bartis. 26 seconds remaining. Here's Parent just inside the blue line. Time expiring here in regulation. Vyasov digs at the puck. Picked up now here by Jones. Back to Vyasov. And on the shot, it's in the skates here are the Mustangs, and shot out of play. And that's going to be icing with 7 seconds left on the board. All right, let's got a bit of an interesting play here. Let's have I think Dylan Quayle just had a bit of a shot there. It's Isaacson, I believe, just in the corner of your vision. That sort of eclipsed my eye, but we got a timeout called now here by the Sydney Ice Dogs, my head coach Andrew Petrie. And well, we've got a frenetic finish. We could very well be heading to 3-on-3 overtime. Most exciting period of hockey there is. I'm glad the AIHL has done the right thing and approved it. It was approved last year at the November Commissioners meeting. To be fair, Stephen White, Aussie Joe can try explaining it, but will we understand? Well, when you'll need the explanation, call Aussie Joe. I think Google Translate, he probably types it into Google Translate. No, I'm just kidding. Aussie Joe and I have some good banter. That pass from Vyasov was elite. That's quality in any league. Yes, I have to agree with that, Rod.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt. Great vision.
And as I said, he had a couple of seasons in the wilderness of Adam, and then he came back with a bit of a vengeance last year. So
I think from what I saw of him last night, he's got so much talent. He just has to play with the right people and understand when to give the puck up and when to get it back again. And if you can get that out of him, he'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Particularly when he had last year, when he had Brett Ferguson and Ben Davies.
Yeah.
That really helped him as well. But that is the end of regulation. To the overtime period we go. 3-on-3 for 5 minutes. If it's all tied, we go to a shootout.
Right, dude, so pick up.
Who's going to start the game or who's going to score?
Who's going to start it?
For the Dogs, I reckon it's going to be Quayle and the two Crowders.
Yep.
They're going to go offensive heavy, I think.
Absolutely.
And for the Stangs, I think it's going to be Thomas, Isaacson, and I think Berkey.
Yep.
Your picks?
Well, I would think that the only question I'd have there is whether Max would throw himself out there, okay? But you're right. I think at the end of the day, it's 3-on-3. You want to break it open and just all you got to do is get a jump, you know, catch somebody off guard, and you're gone. So I'm leaning towards you, brother. So who's going to score?
That's always a hard one. It's so end to end. I'm going to put my money on Quayle. I think he's the sleeper.
Yeah.
If it's for the Dogs, it'll be Quayle. If it's for the Mustangs, I think it'll be Thomas again.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go Crowder.
Yep.
Okay, for the Dogs.
Which one?
Tim.
Tim. Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to go Isaacson for the Mustangs.
Okay. All right. It's a pretty good tip. Well, Matt Monahan looks like he's back on the bench, so he may have actually just caught a rut. He may not have been a skate blade because he would be out for a while if that was, well, they can snap a map in pretty quick these days.
Yep, that's
so
right.
Richard Stevens, the trainer for the Ice Dogs, on top of it. So,
well, the good thing about all this, mate, is that the Mustangs are going to leave the building, and they're going to leave it with a point or points, and that means that they still have not played a game this year where they haven't come away with something.
Yep, and I mean that's exactly what you want. Like, I mean, you get the point. I know, as I said earlier, you know, it's about winning the last one, not the first. But you don't want to be playing catch up towards the end of the season, which has basically been the feature of the Mustangs the last two seasons.
Absolutely. Start
slow and then make a run for it at the end.
Yeah.
Because you can also make the argument. I mean, we're a single game elimination final playoff series. It's a bit different to get a gauge, in my opinion. But you sort of, you know, you might burn yourself out when you get to the finals before you get there.
I'm not a fan of the structure that they have. I tried to get them to change that. I believe it should be a round robin.
Yeah.
I believe that you could certainly do that, and it gives people who end up in first and have an off day another chance at it, and they deserve that, okay? And the fans deserve it too.
Yeah, but I mean, the perennial question is, because we're jammed right in between the start of the North American training camps and the end of their season. So do you make the question, it's an interesting debate to have, and we have it all the time, but you know, do you shorten the season to allow for the playoffs?
You know what, I don't think so. I actually think you can run that whole thing over one weekend. You just start the thing on Friday. And I mean, they played a round robin that was a reduced format round robin here, okay? And you had to play more than once in the same day. So, like, you can do it. You just have to be sensible about it.
Yep. Yes.
And I mean, I'm sure that I'll have nayers and sayers and doers and whatever else about that whole affair. The interesting thing here is you got 3-on-3, but you still don't have 3 20-minute periods.
Yes, that's another debate that will rage. Anyway, we're here with the 5 minutes of 3-on-3 as Crowders and Quayle, as I called it, they start the first period.
Look, Max is out there.
So you called that. So you had, and yes, there you go. So we both called it. All right. I didn't call Berkey though, but so both teams going offensive heavy to start. So run and gun hockey for the next 4 minutes 50, provided no one scores, of course. It's going to be entertaining either way. Here's Quayle, pursued there by Thomas. Puts Thomas into the glass as Quayle takes over. And the key to this is isolating one player or two. As Crowder across to his brother, and that one arrives late because one player gets out of position. It's an odd man rush the other way.
That's correct.
Here's Crowder in front of the net. He shoots. Oh, saved by Pike Murphy. Tried to backhand and just lost his footing. And here we go, back the other way. As Parent now had it poked away from him. Quayle, he'd spotted Dunwoody coming off the bench, but players take their places, and Dunwoody was just onside, but the player's going to be icing, and we'll get a whistle.
That was... Something happened to Max's skate there. He must have caught some rubbish or something and fell over.
Here's the chance again.
What a... Oh, look at that. The net was there, and he just couldn't bring it around.
So, 4:09. This is the first 5 minutes of overtime at the Icehouse we've seen this season. So here's Tim Crowder. Stolen by Vyasov. Vyasov moving into the circle, shoots. Good save from Bartas. Wow, great skills from both goaltender and forward. Here's Burke with a shot, gobbled up.
It looked like Batum was trying for the 5-hole, and Bartis played that really well.
Yep. Man, 3-on-3 is awesome. They call it overtime.
Morgan. They call it overtime except on payday.
Time in lieu, mate. That's what I know it as. This one moves out to Burke. Unattended a shot. He put it over the crossbar. Dunwoody now off the boards to McGregor. Slides it across looking for Carini. Got a bit of time and space in front of him, as does McMahon. A foot race ensues. Both players overskate the puck. McMahon trying to isolate Burke in behind McGregor. Burke and Vyasov. Here's Burke. Moves in. Cut across as he so often does. Now hands off to Vyasov. He tries to get to the high slot. Can't do so. It's poked out into the feet now here. Carini, a 2-on-1 potentially the other way, but he's at the end of his shift and has to retreat. Crowder in on the forecheck against McMahon. There's all three Mustangs players in the defensive zone. Here's McDowell now. 3:11 to go here in the overtime period. It's picked up and moved in by Sean Jones. Jones shoots! Deflected and into the netting it goes. We'll have a whistle.
It's interesting, isn't it? You want to be one of the three, or do you don't want to be one of the three? You want to be one of the three. Here we go. And a pencil. It may be 2 a.m. here. That's just what it means. It's OT time for this San Jose girl. Overtime, best kind of hockey there is. Right on, mate.
Indeed. Free hockey. You want to look at it that way? So here's the draw. 3:03 with 3-3 the score, and 3-on-3 being the format right now. Here's Quayle, number 73. Threes are wild. He has the puck now at his own blue line with the two Crowders manning their positions. Here's Tim over the blue line. Long range try and a knuckleball on Jaden Pine Murphy. The rebound kicks out. And the Mustangs look to come back the other way. Starting out here is Thomas. One-handed pass over to Isaacson. Isaacson just pulls up and draws his player to him. As the Crowders now. And Quayle. 2-on-2 the other way. Quayle now over the line. 2:30 to go. Just trying to, once again, isolate one player and open up some space. Here's Crowder moving to the top of it. He shoots! Oh, he hit the pipe! Oh, man.
Well, that's the thing, eh? It's pretty open, and he's got an opportunity to come into the slot and make his pick.
Here's Quayle now. The rest of the line has changed as Carini and Dunwoody are now on the ice for the Ice Dogs. Dunwoody's shot is wide of the net of Pine Murphy. Dunwoody follows up on that drive, and Vyasov takes over, and a 2-on-1 the other way now here for the Mustangs with Burke. Vyasov moves in, deals it off to Burke. Oh, he found on it. The pressure there from Dunwoody, I think, was enough. Back now here to McMahon. Back to Vyasov. Vyasov trying to find a path to go. Oh,
great save.
McMahon pinching in, and Bartis shut the door again. Well, goaltender Garrett Bartis coming up big again. 90 seconds left here in the overtime period. 3-3 the score. And we're 90 seconds away from a potential shootout. It's now 10-3 North Stars over Adelaide. But it's still 3-3 here where it matters. Robertson, kick save from Bartis. Falls out loose. McDowell with a backhand shot. Another kick save. Burke with a try. Good save from Bartis. He covers. Garrett Bartis, 3 saves on 3 shots in about 3 seconds.
Going back to the one with Vadim and Jamie Burke, I'm sure Jamie would love to have that again. Here we go. Watch this. Whoa. He had 2/3 of the net, and he just couldn't get a handle on it.
Here's another try, McMahon.
That was a great save.
Yep.
Good read by McMahon, too.
He's had a good weekend so far. Great last night against the Melbourne Ice. It's been good tonight against the Sydney Ice Dogs. So 1:11. Here's Crowder now. 2 Crowders and Quayle again out as the overtime line of choice here for the Ice Dogs. Crowder to Crowder, looking across to Quayle, and that's poked out, and a foot race between Thomas and Crowder. Thomas just can't get a clean touch. Oh, they could open. It could be a 2-on-0 the other way. Here's Isaacson and Thomas. Thomas delays. Great back check there by Dylan Quayle. Man.
Take the shot.
Wow, this is overtime, folks. 3-on-3 doesn't get any better than this. Picked up by McGregor, fresh off the bench. Here to Crowder of the Paul variety. Now to Tim, top of the circle. Puts a shot on the chest there of Pine Murphy, who holds on. Wow.
Get a look at that again. You know, and like I under my breath, I said, take the shot, right? So there you go.
Oh, what?
Whoa. Take the shot.
So Dylan Quayle with a potential game saver there as McMahon. Back to out of the zone come the Mustangs. Jones and McDowell out on this second line. Jones now to the top of the circle. Has McMahon, bang, that's offside, and they're going to have to touch up. 14 seconds left, probably one last opportunity for either team. 10 seconds before we head to a shootout. Looks like the Dogs are content to do exactly that. Carini now, probably not going to have enough time to get up ice and have a shot, but Quayle can't handle it in, and that's going to do it. To the shootout we go, and overtime fails to split these two teams.
Man, oh man, they had a couple of very good opportunities. Even right at the start, the first play with the Ice Dogs, and Jaden Pine-Murphy has to make a good save.
Yep.
Then you come back down to the other end, and there were multiple chances, and Bartis made a great save on McMahon, but Quayle made the play of the game, I think, where he took the puck away from Thomas and Isaacson,
yep,
who were wide open in front with about 30 seconds left.
Yep.
So...
So we have a final score here from Adelaide. It did finish 10-2, 10-2 to the Newcastle North Stars, and well, 10-3. Sorry, my apologies. So comprehensive 7-goal win there to the North Stars. That's game one of that doubleheader, and still undefeated are Newcastle. That'll take them to 15 points from 5 games. So they'll at least be 3 points clear should the Mustangs take the 2 points here, but if the Ice Dogs win, they get 8 points. The Mustangs will go to 11. But a shootout now to decide who takes the 2, who takes the 1. And thinking of shooters, I'd have to say, for mine, for the Mustangs, it's going to be Burke, Isaacson, Thomas.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, mate. I bet
Mitch
you
Humphries,
$10 Vadim will be in there.
And Vadim. So, okay.
Yeah.
For the Dogs, 2 Crowders, Quayle. I'll go with Ellis Carini and Matt Hornahan. So, Vyasov, you're right. Up first for the Mustangs. So he's had a good game so far, Vadim. He's going to go up against Garrett Bartis, round 1 of the shootout. And he scores! Garrett Bartis got most of that, but not all of it. And it just went under the glove side. And the Mustangs take a 1-0 lead in the shootout. We see on the replay, here's Vyasov just under the arm there. Bartis got a bit of his arm on it. So, Tim Crowder to shoot first here for the Dogs. Now, let's see what moves he can put on Jaden Pine-Murphy. Had plenty of them tonight. So, Crowder. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, nice goal. Double
D, left to right, and right past the pad of Jaden Pine-Murphy. It's 1-1. So Isaacson to shoot second here for Melbourne. Oh, saved there by Bartis. You can see the key to the shootout is who blinks first.
Absolutely, and he was trying to make him do it, and I think he lost control of the puck and not much space left.
You can see Bartis went down, recovered really well, and then tried to go 5-0 when it was shut. So Dylan Quayle to shoot second here for the Dogs. Oh, and he's put it wide. Similar move, but went backhand to Crowder, but put it wide, and it remains 1-1. So Berkey is up next for the Mustangs. And had a little watch of the replay on the big screen there, Dylan. Wanted to, not one you'd really want to see again, but wanted to know what he wanted to do. Here's Burke, shooting third for the Mustangs. Saved by Bartis.
He's played well.
Yep, really got his eye, like particularly in that third period, he had his eye in. Still has a couple of rounds of the shootout left. So Crowder to put the Dogs ahead potentially in the third round of the shootout. His brother shot first. He's the only other scorer in the shootout so far. Oh, and he's put it wide too. So wide backhand on one side from Quayle and wide on the other from Paul Crowder.
Well, he was smart enough to go the other way, though, because the first two shooters went to the right.
Yep.
He mixed it up a bit. And he had him, too.
So Vadim going to take another shot here. Obviously, AIHL rules. Shooters can shoot more than once, can shoot as many times as they want. So Vyasov now take his second shot in this fourth round of the shootout. He scores! And it's 2-1 to the Mustangs. So Tim Crowder going to take his second shot. He scored in the first round. Can he do it again here for the Dogs? Has to tie it. And he scored. Laser. Absolute laser beam there.
That was all right.
Made it look so easy.
Upstairs, good shot.
And look who's coming back out. Vadim Vyasov, third shot. The fifth round of the shootout, where it is 2 apiece. And a save by Bartis. Maybe one move too many there from Vadim. And again, another
I
case
think
of...
you're pushing your luck when you play him. Like, Vadim's great, but I don't know if I'd have gone three times with him.
Well, to be fair, Tim Crowder's out for his third shot.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they mirror each other. If Tim's going to be successful or deny.
He's tried 2 different things, so let's see where he's going this time. My money's on the 5-hole. No?
And he scores!
Yeah.
Tim Crowder puts it past Jaden Pine-Murphy, and the Sydney Ice Dogs take the 2 points in the shootout. After 3 periods of hockey in overtime, couldn't separate him. Tim Crowder can, and it finishes 4-3 to the Sydney Ice Dogs. They take the win over the Mustangs here at the O'Brien Icehouse.
Well, you know, like I said before, it's unfortunate to lose. It's unfortunate to go to overtime and only get 1 point. But if I'm the Mustangs, I'd be pretty happy because I took them to overtime, and I've managed to play four or five games now, I think, and come away with a point, which is better than they've done in the last 3 years. So there's a lot of positive things going on. If I'm the Ice Dogs, I'm happy coming into this building and knowing that full well that the Mustangs were on a bit of a roll and taking them to overtime and then winning in the shootout. And you can see from the talent that they've got that they're a solid unit that people are going to have to take note of.
And as we talked about, the Ice Dogs, they'll be back here tomorrow night to take on the Melbourne Ice. And the Mustangs, they'll head on the road next week for the Bears and the North Stars in consecutive days. And look, their second road trip of the season. Obviously, they had the doubleheader against the Thunder, where they were very successful over there. Your thoughts going into that road trip, Rod?
Well, I mean, I think they went to Perth. That's the longest road trip. They had to get their act together. It's tiring and that sort of thing. And they came away from there. They almost won both games. So I think this road trip will not be as taxing physically on them from a travel perspective. So that'll give them an opportunity to be a little bit sharper. And I think based on how they're playing, they should split at least. Okay.
So, after 3 periods of overtime, 3 periods of hockey overtime and a shootout, it's the Sydney Ice Dogs taking it 4-3 over the Melbourne Mustangs here at the O'Brien Icehouse in Melbourne. On behalf of my co-commentator Rod Johns, I'm Steve White. We'll see you here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern when the Ice Dogs take on the Melbourne Ice here at the AIHL.
See you, dude.